probably the absolute opposite of Colin. He's been sort of flying, trying to glide down. My presentation is starting at the bottom. We're a manufacturer based in Winnipeg. We make products for buses, farm machinery, construction equipment, and windows. I come into these things and I've heard these presentations probably 50 times, and I get scared, absolutely want to rush to the washroom and throw up, going, how do I do all that stuff? And how do I actually get something done? And accountants and trade consultants, and I go, oh, that's not us. I'm going to give our story from sort of a much more practical, ground level kind of view, because I think that's what I found to be most useful for us. Where to start? This often gave me a bunch of questions. So first thing I look at is find the low-hanging opportunities. And we have them in Manitoba. They're talked about. You see them every day. Gustavo arranged a trade conference with Vail Inco to supply them in Canada. But guess what? Vail Inco also supplies into Brazil. So if you can get into supplying them in Canada, you get a relationship with them and you say, hey buyer, you guys have connections for this stuff in Brazil? Oh yeah. Well, there suddenly you go from an unknown commodity, trying to fly into the country, trying to beat your way through the door, to somebody's opened the door and said, hey, you're a great supplier in Canada. They have global information systems. They know how you perform. And suddenly you're in Brazil and you didn't go through all this long route and a lot of stuff. It was a friendly introduction that happened. In Winnipeg, we have some of the leading manufacturing companies in North America. We have Motor Coach, we have New Flyer, we have Bueller. They talked about $50 million worth of ag products sold into Russia. Well, those are Manitoba companies. So in some cases, those companies have sister companies. Like in Bueller's case, there's a combine company in Russia. There's an opportunity for you to get in. So get into an opportunity supplying any of those companies, and that's how you take the next step. Gustavo asked, I should put a personal experience, how did we start into exporting? And Acrylon's been around for almost 30 years, 33 years now. It actually started with Motor Coach Industries when they had the plant in Pembina, North Dakota. Guess what? That's exporting. So you start with Motor Coach here, and they said, well, can you make your stuff, and we need some products in Pembina. That's where we first started. And we didn't think about it as trade, as a lofty trade. It was just, customer wants some product in North Dakota. Okay, well, we'll figure that out, and mumbled our way through it, and had lots of challenges getting there. One of the things you have to start with, and I've always been kind of, we started off as the little engine that could, almost, as we said, Acrylon. We're a little Manitoba company. Why would anyone want to buy from us? What do we do that, we're just happy to get a sale across the border, and we've got a customer in Fargo called Case New Holland, and we've got some products with them. And so I went, wow, that's kind of cool. And, they bought some stuff, and now we've become their largest plastic supplier in North America, and on the verge of being the largest plastic supplier in the world. And it all started 10 years ago with dealing with them in Fargo. The days of the currency advantage are gone. I have no idea where the dollar is going to be, but certainly I wake up in the morning and we're above parity. I don't actually believe we're that good, but the world does somehow, and that makes it very challenging in selling products now. So it was much better when the dollar was 65 cents and you had a 50% currency advantage. You can be terribly inefficient. You didn't lean to do that. Now that we're at parity, if you're here and you're still in business, it means you've survived. Congratulations, because there's an awful lot of companies that continue to fail. A lot of it's driven. The currency has an effect on all of us, whether you believe it or not. There's nobody protected without it. The most critical thing you have to think about is, what do you offer the potential customer that they cannot or do not get from their existing suppliers? So what is your secret sauce? What is the recipe? Why would somebody buy from you? You have a customer buying from you today, and we started asking them, why do you like us? Why do you keep buying more from us? Why do you keep giving us more business? And that started telling us, and their answer to us as Acrylon was, you solve our problems. We have other suppliers that they try to make the same products with nothing but grief, and they have financial problems, they have quality problems, they have delivery problems. And when we give you guys stuff, those problems go away. So we wrote a tagline that says, your idea, our solutions, because that's what we figured out we are. We're a solutions company. You may call us a manufacturer, but you talk to our customers, and when they have a problem, we're outstanding at solving their problem. And that's what we focus on every day, and all of our people every day come up with is, that's our secret sauce. And it's something that I have competitors out there, and they kind of go, well, you make plastic stuff, how come you don't do... And it's not about price, it's about solving the problems. Our products are generally very small dollar value items. I mean, it's a $20 air duct in a $500,000 bus. But if it doesn't work, they can't deliver the $500,000 bus. So that becomes part of, know what you're selling to people. Then we will find a potential customer. I'll talk a little bit more about finding in a second here. Find out what the competitors aren't solving for them. Because that's really the key thing. And you'd be surprised. One example I have here, we had a company come in from Austria that interviewed us to be a potential supplier. We didn't go to them. They came to North America. And I sat down with them and I said, why are you coming to Canada looking for a rotomower? I mean, my God, there's hundreds of them in Europe. He says, yeah, there's hundreds of them in Europe, but when we tried to grow, the cost of expanding those rotomowers in Germany was so expensive. The labor cost is $60, $70 an hour. They said, no, we're not prepared to grow. So they said, they as a machinery manufacturer couldn't grow because their suppliers refused to grow. So they looked to Canada to be a high quality, low cost, reliable supplier. And I said, oh, that's kind of what we look to China to be. He said, yeah, you're the China to Europe. Oh, okay. Why would somebody buy it locally, want to come to North America? Because they view us in a very favorable light. So really figure out what you're selling. It's a tough task because many of you, you really have to talk to your customers, and I see Gary here from InterPOC Millwork. He's got a product that's unique, and I suspect you can sell it. It's just, what are you selling and why are you selling? Because you may have been selling it for 100 years, but you have to tell somebody why you're doing it. One of the things is, how will you increase your sales presence there? One of the things that we're doing is we're going to require a U.S. company for a number of reasons. One is that in our business it's very tough to get a supplier code to be a new supplier to somebody. The expectation of a new supplier is about 3 times as high as an incumbent supplier in terms of quality, delivery, reliability, inspection. If I go buy somebody and they have a supplier code, their standard expectation is to just keep doing what you've been doing and it's okay. So for us, we figured out it's easier for us to get into the U.S. market and open new doors by acquiring somebody who has contacts in that. And that's a strategy that's been done by a number of Manitoba companies. That's just what's working for us. For us, we also get a trained workforce, we get a fully commissioned plant, and we get grandfathered into customers. What's happening today? Contrary to what the minister said, we're finding that Americans realize they're in trouble. Their economy's in trouble, their jobs are in trouble, their unemployment rate is high, and at the ground level, at the buyer level, we're getting, first time in 20 years, we're getting feedback that we want to buy from American companies to create American jobs. And as much as we talk about NAFTA and free trade and all these good things, I can tell you, when you go visit a Caterpillar, a Bobcat, Klaus, or any other equipment guys that we're talking to, the buyer's saying, we view Canada in the same category as Mexico, China, and Canada are all grouped together, and we'd rather buy from an American company and possibly pay more money than buy from a Canadian, Mexican, or Chinese company to create that American job. So that's again part of our U.S. strategy is to have a U.S. presence to say, hey, here's a U.S. business card, and suddenly you're a friend. The importance of the U.S. market. Long ago, the U.S. is a great opportunity. It's a very comfortable opportunity. It's like that old pair of shoes that you can slide into. You put them on and you know they're going to fit you well. And by that I mean that they do business the way we do business. By and large in America, they build it on relationships, they build it on performance, they build it on you being there. And I say that and you say, well, that's totally expected. Yeah, right. You hear about China where it's long-term trying to build a relationship to get that first sale. Other countries, there's under-the-table money. I learned this at the Harvard Business School. One of my friends from India said, how do you solve this problem? He says, UT, puts up his hand. I said, what the heck is that? Under the table. Oh. And you learn that in India, 60 to 70% of their economy is under the table, and that's expected in that economy. So for us, it's something radically different to think about how you go about doing business, and people expect to receive under the table money to get there. Not that I agree with it, but that's their business practice. The U.S. doesn't have that by and large the U.S. expects to operate the same as Canada. And that's why it's the easiest market for SMEs to start into to find opportunities. When I look at it, North Dakota is a great one because we're as big a city and as close to people in North Dakota as anywhere else. I mean, Minneapolis is sort of the next choice. So we don't have a distance disadvantage in looking at North Dakota. You say, well, how do you do that? Well, last week I was in the western United States looking at buying a company, and I drive around, I got my iPad with me with a little cellular connection thing, and I'm driving by and I see a business, I see a stack of products, and those are made out of wood, I can make those out of plastic. So I punch them up, and who are they, what are they doing, who's a connection. Suddenly you find all the information. You can go to Lofty or you can talk to trade commissioners and all that stuff, but it's really just get in the car and drive down or fly down, drive around the neighborhood. You'd be amazed when you see the size of a building, you see the opportunities there, you suddenly get a real sense of what you're talking about and what your potential is. Because you can look at lots and lots of paper, but being on the ground, to me, is the best way of really finding those starting opportunities that you can go after. What other markets are we pursuing outside of North America? What does Brazil and Europe mean to Acrylon? Our customer base is asking us to become a global supplier. So currently, they make the same products that they make in the U.S., they make them in Europe, they make them in Brazil, and because we're a competency they can't get locally, or the demand is less locally in those markets, we are suppliers to those countries. Some of the flaws that I see people doing is they don't view this as an investment. When I look at going into foreign markets, it's no different than buying a piece of capital equipment. I'm going to buy a new CNC machine for a couple $100,000. I do my homework, I do my research, I make a purchase decision, and you're kind of done, and the machine shows up and you hook it up and say, life's wonderful, you get it working. The same thing is required to get into a foreign market. It's not going to happen just because you wish it to happen. It's going to happen because you hire somebody who says, you're the salesperson to get me into the foreign market. We have, in our business, new doors, new opportunities. Some of them now are, one of them that we're working on right now, and Don Shear's here, the sales guy, whoever he is, Don over there, he's had one that he's been working on for 3 years. And we're close. We're close. But 3 years, it's been his full-time job to work on new opportunities, and we're about to realize the first one. And that's somebody who's dedicated full-time. He's got a couple existing customers, but primarily a lot of his time is spent nurturing that relationship and growing it. So you have to make that investment. To think that a salesperson who's already overburdened and say, well, go drive down to Fargo because Craig said it's a great place to be, go find us some business, isn't going to work. You have to persevere, you have to dig through the details, and you have to slowly grow that relationship. Once you have, because the buyer down there doesn't, he said, well, why do I want to buy from you? And that's getting back to that question of how good you are. They talked about planning, Colin talked about it, and that's probably the most important thing, because if you show up and you blow it on the first try, you get killed. We've had it where our customers or potential customers have sent up their quality people. We've been ISO registered since 1994 or 96. So we thought, hey, we're ISO, we're good, we got this under control. These guys show up and they bring up a team of 3 people and they hunker down in your plant for a week. And they don't just go through the ISO, they go through every single document. They go out to my maintenance guy and say, okay, you have a preventative maintenance program, take us out to every machine and let's see the logbook, let's see that you've done everything that you said you were going to do. I mean, they really check you out. So, and you sit there and go, well, that's not fair. It doesn't matter. They're the customer. if they, and a lot of them are very good. They'll score you and they'll say, well, we kind of got about 80% on this, but we need you to get to 100 and really have you close to about 90 on this, and you're about 70. But you got some stuff over here, so go work on that. And it takes us years to work on that and get it done. There's great top-of-mind opportunities. Minnesota and North Dakota are easy opportunities for everybody here. I mean, you can hop in a car across the border easily, go look for the opportunities for your product. There is opportunities in those markets, and they're easy markets to go after. There's lots of economic development support in those communities. Economic development officers, every community has one. Go find them. Tell them who you are. Tell them what you're looking for. And for some reason, they want to help you go sell into their market because they hope that someday you build enough business that you want to grow a plant. There's a number of them here. I think there's about 20 sort of government-oriented people here in attendance today. I looked at the list. Again, they all want to help you, but you got to say, what do you want to do and how do you want to go getting that help? But as you just started, and that's what it's a full-time job for somebody to go pursue this. The Canadian Trade Commissioners will help you. Overall, be patient and be consistent. You have to methodically. This is not a sprint. This is a marathon. The rewards are wonderful when you get there because what we've found, our business has grown because of that first customer we got at Fargo. That buyer left and went to a competitor, and 3 months later he's calling us saying, hey, we got problems at my new place, can you come down and help us? And then those relationships keep sort of growing through the networking side. Make sure you're easy to do business with. Make sure you have an 800 number that works in North America. It's so funny that people phone me and say, phone us back, an 800 number, sorry, that number doesn't work from Canada. Come on, man. Long distance is free today. And you say, well, they should just dial a number. No, make it easy for them. NAFTA's been a great thing for Canada. It's been a great thing for Manitoba. The minister talked about 60% of our GDP comes from trade. My calculation is somewhere around 94% of our manufactured product leaves Manitoba. We are not consumers of stuff we make here. We're great exporters, whether it's the plastic I make that goes on a bus that leaves the province, or the plastic I make that I directly export, or the plastic that I make that sent to Saskatoon that goes on products that go around the world. But somewhere around 94% of what happens in Manitoba manufacturing ultimately leaves this country, leaves this province, and that's a great place to be. NAFTA is good because it makes the cross-border stuff easy, but it takes a bit getting going with that. It's not like we've got NAFTA certificates, they're in an Excel file, we push the button every year and reprint them, but my God, that first one was like, what are you talking about? What are you doing? Your customs broker will help you with that. The other thing is you have to think about the market you're going into. So for example, the U.S. is a highly litigious market, and there's lots of lawyers down there. So we work with our insurance company to make sure we have coverage that protects us in that market. And sometimes it's even how we structure our business, because when I look at U.S. companies, they don't keep any retained earnings around, and Canadian companies we do. And I ask them why, and they say, well, if we get sued, there's nothing left behind for anyone to win. And in Canada, we don't feel that threat. In Canada, companies don't go broke from being sued for product liability. In the U.S., they do. So it's just how they structure their affairs a little bit differently. So that's sort of my presentation, which again was a sort of round-up thing. Colin was a little bit higher up, and hopefully the two of us can help you get there.